Greetings, mortals. I'm Sheogorath, Prince of Madness and God of Chaos, and other things. I'm not talking about them. What I will talk about are my guests for this episode of Irrelevant Interviews Online. Entertain me, mortals!
Hey!
Hello.
Doom entertains no one. Hello,
In my
everybody.
realm, anything can happen.
Hi.
And anyone can be anyone.
Let me take this off. I've been melting for 10 minutes now.
That's fine. I tried to put that thing on, but it wouldn't fit over my head with the headphones.
How are you guys?
You good?
I'm just eating sushi, so I'm feeling very well right now.
Oh,
That's
good. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Sushi.
Well, thank you.
Excellent.
It's been a while since I had some sushi myself. Okay, I always say this at the start of every episode. I'm not good at introductions or presentations, so we'll get to know each other as we go.
All right.
I'm gonna get started with RakeMakes since he was the first one to arrive. Tell me, what was the last cosplay you brought to a convention?
Oh boy, that's a good question. Yeah, it was that one, Mono from Little Nightmares.
Little
Oh,
Nightmares.
Yes, there hasn't been any real conventions in Sweden since the pandemic, except for Comic-Con Stockholm, which they had like vaccine pass and like not a lot of visitors, but it was like a nice break last fall. So then we did Mono in 6 and ran around. So yeah.
Same here. We haven't had any convention since 2020.
No. They're opening up now, so our last real convention was 2 years ago. And now it's going to be the same one.
I think I'm having a connection.
uh-oh.
You hear me right?
Barely.
I might need to change to switch connections. Let's hope not.
That's working for me at least.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just looking at the Wi-Fi icon that I usually don't see, so I thought it was my connection. Yeah, we haven't had any convention since 2 years ago. The next one that has been already announced will be until May 7 and 8. So we're still like 3 months to go.
Yeah, unless something happens again.
Yeah.
No, it's all done now. No more Rona.
Unless another Decepticon named variant comes in and blasts everything out into space. Yeah.
I like your optimism, Maya.
Yeah. Well, we just had the 1st of February. We all restrictions in Denmark, except from traveling abroad, has been lifted. So we don't have anything anymore in Denmark. No Corona pass, or like you can still get tested, but it's not seen as a public issue anymore, because it seems like the Omicron doesn't get people in intensive hospital care. So all the Danes are practically pretending that Corona is not a thing anymore.
Yeah,
it's the same here. I think
I was
our
checking
end the 7th or something.
I was checking I was checking the website of Iberia Airlines because I have a voucher that I can still claim for a flight, and they have a map where they can show where they show where we can fly with no restrictions, and Denmark, Germany, Sweden, they are They are all in green. There are not really many restrictions to go there. So, but yes, I had booked a flight in 2020 that I still haven't taken advantage of.
Ooh.
But it's still valid, so I can still
That's good.
plan my vacations.
We were
Okay.
planning on going to MCM London in May, I think. But now we're probably not going to go because it's worth it. But the hotel that we booked just closed. It's not there anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just shut down. Like, sorry, here's your money back. Like, okay.
Well, at least
Sure.
you got your money back.
Yeah, still sad. It's our favorite hotel when we go there. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a penny pincher, so every time I go to a convention in Europe, I stay in an Airbnb and just land my way. If I need to take a train, I take a train. Or when I went to Estonia, we went walking to the convention. It was like 1 kilometer away.
That's doable. Yeah.
Well, I feel like that depends on the cosplay. Like, either it's
I was
very
wearing an
doable
armor.
and easy.
I was carrying a giant bag with my Cyrax armor. But
Well,
yeah, it's still you're absolutely right. It depends on the cosplay.
Still fun to like be in public transport wearing cosplay. It's always fun to see the reactions.
yeah, I one time had the Star Guardian Soraka cosplay on, and it's pretty just a glitter unicorn. So all the small girls at the central rail station in Copenhagen was just like stopping me, and the parents wanted pictures with me, and none of them had any idea what I was. I was just glittery and a unicorn, and I loved it though. I thought it was so cute. Hey!
Hey, yeah, I'm
He's
back.
back.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I got the problem that whenever someone calls me and I hang up, I lose all audio on the stream. So I need to just go out and come in. Yeah.
A modem. All dial up. I get it. Mom, I need to use the phone.
I haven't played Little Nightmares. What's that about?
It's about the thing. Maybe I can fit it here. It's about this guy. So you can put it on. It's actually a Swedish game. It's about you play as the first one. You play as a little girl named Six, and you don't really get it. There's no dialogue in the entire game, or text or anything. And basically, it's like you are a very tiny person, and you have to escape, horrible monsters that try to catch you, either to eat you or to suck your soul out, things like that. It looks very cute, but at the same time extremely terrifying. And it's like a side-scrolling platformer thing. I really recommend it. It's a really good game.
All right. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. It looks like very Tim Burton-y, actually.
It is really, really cool. I love the story as well. Like, it doesn't necessarily give a clear story, but if you are like have your eyes open and things like that. I also watched quite a lot of theories on it afterwards because it's just really, really cool.
I mean, the second one was released is it 1 or 2 years ago now, and people are still like, I found this one little thing in the corner of this map. It might mean that this person is actually the mother of this person, and it's so fun because there's no dialogue, and I'm totally into that.
Right.
Yeah.
Silent storytelling is so cool.
One more question for RakeMakes. What's the funniest moment you remember having during a cosplay contest?
The best one. I think maybe not the funniest, but probably the best one was during the Swedish Cosplay Championship. I built the Angel of Death from Hellboy 2. So I built a pair of mechanized wings that flapped out. And everything worked perfectly. I worked with the design for many weeks. But then, the day we went up, the remote control started glitching. and we had no tools on site, so it worked about 1 in 10 times to actually open the wings. And also, if they continued open and didn't close, it was really hard to walk because the weight. So during the performance, I was like, okay, either they don't work or they work. I don't care. But they worked flawlessly 3 times, only 3 times that they were supposed to work. So I ran backstage to my girlfriend who was standing there, and I was like, "Whoa, that's such a cool performance!" And we were like, "I don't care. The wings worked. We only care about the wings working." We went around the entire city looking for someone who could repair a remote control, but no one could.
Oh, but that is so perfect, though. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's perfect. And didn't work afterwards. They worked during the judging. Afterwards, they just stopped, and then worked again during the performance, and that's it.
They worked when they were supposed to.
Exactly.
Someone was taking care of you that day, because I've heard
Yeah.
I've seen nightmarish stories about cosplay fails. Right. They worked the entire day, and then right when they needed to work right in front of the judges, me being one, they completely failed, and everything went downhill from there. Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much what almost happened. So that's probably the funniest during a competition, I think.
Okay.
Also, one time I fell backwards onto a foam table and I misjudged the distance and I knocked the air out of my lungs, but everyone thought it was cool acting.
Oh, no.
Okay, you survived.
Yes.
Great. One last question for this round. Can you tell me, what would you use to shave a cactus?
To shave a cactus?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like a Dremel, a multi-bit Dremel, because you can use that for everything. It gets a really nice, smooth surface on the cactus. I think, yeah.
Is it like exfoliating a cactus?
Yeah. I haven't tried exfoliating with a Dremel bit, but probably could work.
Okay.
Probably remove calluses with it as well. You can use it for anything, really.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I mean, cosplay, shaving cactus, toothpaste, everything.
Amazing. I'm gonna continue with Aya.
Yeah.
What's the last cosplay you've brought to a convention?
Well, the last cosplay I brought was actually a Stritch, which is a very small character from Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda. Which was quite funny because we were doing a group act for this small convention we had in November. And I just joined the group like 1 month before we were going there. And my guy, supposedly he's really into bugs, but I didn't really know anything about the game at that time. So when I had to do the voice lines, I was just like, yep, he must be high or something. So I was just like, all the way through it. And I was pretty much just a backup character to the whole act, but people loved it because I was just playing him like, and I was like the shortest of all of us, and this character is actually like the tallest of the group, but we just made it in like, what happened? Why are you so small? Which was worked pretty well. People found it quite funny.
Have you participated in cosplay contests?
Yes, I am a fairly regular on the Danish stage by now. I participated in one international competition, the C4 in the Netherlands. And I think I started on a high roll. So the first act I ever did in Denmark, I won best act. And then the second one, I got to go to C4 with that one. And ever since I lost everything. So, but I'm having fun. So that's important, right?
Yeah, that's the direction of my next question. What's the funniest moment you've had on stage?
Well, I actually think in general, I've quite found out that in the beginning when I started doing cosplay acts, I really wanted to win. But since then, I've learned that just being on the stage and realizing and seeing all this work you put, blood, sweat, and tears, and everything in between, do that on stage. Like I participated in the biggest Danish competition last year. For the first time, which was quite scary for me because I've usually been going to the smaller conventions, which I feel is a bit more safe. And I went out and I just had so much fun with this act, and I was really proud of it and got a lot of positive feedback. And just being on stage, seeing all this work in action, I guess, is the most fun about cosplay for me, like besides the obvious answers of being together with friends and the creative process behind it. It's pretty much like I don't have a specific moment where I'm like, but I am really, really happy with that act in particularly, which was really nice.
One thing I always say is that cosplay is about having fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Very true.
but yeah.
One last question for this round. Yeah. Can you tell me how much water do I need to plant a binary tree?
I have absolutely no idea, but ask me anything about animals and I will be your girl.
I had an animal-related question in the Spanish version of this show, but I don't know if I... Oh, yeah, I had one. No. Okay, Then I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Alrighty, I'm ready.
Number 1. How many cosplayers does it take to change a light bulb?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah, you need one welding and you need one that can do electric stuff, and then you have to figure out which one of the LEDs that that went out as well.
And you need at least 3 of them just finishing up the connection 5 seconds prior to getting the bulb into the socket.
You also have to wait until the last second.
Yeah.
Finish the light bulb the day of the convention. Otherwise, it doesn't
Right.
count.
Yep.
I love that it's such a international thing that every cosplayer just postpones everything and then crunches the last week.
That's it. Yeah.
It's not good.
Cosplay, connecting people.
Well, connecting people in pain, stress, and deadlines.
It's fun.
But I don't know, that's how I always feel about people being like, but you have to have fun. But I feel like I've never met an actual cosplayer being like, yeah, I enjoyed the whole progress. It was stress-free. It was amazing. Everything worked out exactly how I planned it. Like, no one is like that. Everyone is like almost pulling their hair out the week or the month right before the convention. And everyone is like, why do I even do this? I don't like it. And then you get to the convention and everyone is just hyper. And I'm pretty sure it's kind of like this is a really bad example, but I'm going to go with it anyway. It's like a mom right after she's given birth and been through all that pain and everything, and then she gets the baby and she's just like, this is the most wonderful thing ever because I had to go through all that to get there. That's how I feel about cosplayers.
But while she was at it, she was basically breaking the guy's arm.
Yeah.
Screaming, this is your fault! You did this to me!
The cosplayers can say that.
Yeah.
Well, I would say all cosplayers are masochists because they are putting so much pain on themselves. It's just... Oh my god.
But nothing that is worth doing is easy.
Well,
Indeed.
isn't that just an excuse for all the pain we go through, really?
Or cheap.
True.
Oh. I'm always like the day before the convention. I'm like, I'm never cosplaying again. This will be the last convention, and then we go through the convention, and then I'm like, I want to do this and this and this, and I have an idea for this, and do you want to do this? And yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Usually I do singles cosplayer, so I'm the only one in charge of everything.
But
Well,
even
that's
so,
Not by
also-
choice. I just don't have. Maybe my friends don't have the same cosplays from the same context as mine. I mean, none of them have any Elder Scrolls cosplays, for example. So
And
it's
there's two of my bucket list items is just a Skyrim guard, any guard, just to go stand around the conventions acting like a guard, and Jarl Balgruuf, just so I can sit like a cool person.
I really wanted. Since Morrowind, I'm a big fan of the Elder Scrolls, but I despise armors, and I don't have the body of a wrestler, so I needed to find a character that had that was fully clothed and wasn't wearing a big armor. And Sheogorath just happens to be one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So everything fell in place. I found this on AliExpress.
It's pretty good.
Nice.
The second part of this question, Aya.
Yep.
Can you tell me how many light bulbs does it take to change a cat?
Well, I guess that is a animal-related question, but I feel like my zookeeper experience doesn't really give me the answer here, though. But I got a small hint of 2, but don't ask me why.
A small hint of 2. Okay, makes sense.
Wrong.
I don't really have many animal-related questions. I don't know. Yeah, I see one more.
Just hold it right there, guys. One small bit of advice here: there's no good or bad answers to any of these questions. All right, so just
That's what I told RakeMakes before.
the very first thing that comes through your mind, that's what has to go.
Well, this
It's
is
like
why I
taking
like.
an improvisation class.
Yeah, but I'm really bad at improvisation. I will you can ask me what my favorite song is, and I'll be like, and that
You
doesn't
forget
even take in improv in any way. I don't know. That's why I like making cosplay acts, because I know everything that's going to happen. Like, there's no surprises there, except from when your cosplay starts falling apart, and you're like,
It's true.
It's happened to all of us.
You know everything's gonna happen until you start researching costumes. Like, yeah, this looks easy. This doesn't work. This isn't. You can't wear this. This is impossible. Every
That's
time.
physically impossible.
This armor does not have an opening.
That's
This armor
anatomically
flexes.
incorrect.
well,
Yeah.
So I'm quite into League of Legends, and I don't know if you guys have seen the Warriors music video, but the designs, I quite like the Vi design, and actually the guy who has designed this is actually made it wearable. And I don't know, I really wanted to like email him and be like, you are freaking amazing, because he's actually thought of like, how would a person actually be able to wear this? It's really, really amazing.
That's really good.
Yeah. I'm like, I need to email him and be like, you're the greatest.
We did something similar. Me and my girlfriend, we did work for Fat Shark, who did Warhammer Vermintide, the game.
Oh, yeah.
So we worked for them as the cosplayers during the release. And she did Carillion, the elf, and I did Saltspire. But Carillion is like covered in green linen and like bark armor and wood armor. And the armor does not have an opening anywhere on the torso. Nowhere. And it's just like twigs everywhere. And it's also on the stomach, which is supposed to move. But we're like, we'll fix it. We'll make a hidden like stitching somewhere. And then we met the actual designer of the character in the game, and he was like so proud. I was like, "Wow, it looks really good. I really like tried to make it like authentic armor, so that it would be realistic and make sense." And we just like, yeah, made a lot of sense.
Yep.
Help me wear this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm gonna
It's
move
really
on
fun.
with Richard. I'm not going to overwhelm Maya.
Thank you.
What's
Can I answer the cat's question?
Yeah.
Please.
All right. I was doing my math here, and maybe a truckload. I mean, the question was, how many light bulbs will take to change a cat? And I surmise that if you get a truckload of light bulbs and throw them one by one or in boxes towards the cat, by the end you finish, that cat will never be the same.
Poor kitty.
Yep.
Oh, God.
You are technically correct.
Mhm.
I'd say.
That's one of the best answers I've received from that question.
I tend to overthink things. Yeah, that's me.
Richard, what's the helmet you were wearing before from?
At the beginning of this, that was Dr. Doom, Victor von Doom, ruler of Doomstad, capital of Latveria, his own country, by the way. He is the nemesis of the Fantastic Four, the first ever group of superheroes in comics, and quite possibly the most dangerous man alive in Earth, and possibly the galaxy. And just by his intelligence alone, I mean, there are very more powerful characters in the Marvel universe, but this guy has proven time and time again that there is anyone with the right mindset and intelligence to basically conquer whatever he sets his eyes on is Victor Von Doom.
We can say he's a big fan.
And quite possibly it's not quite possibly, it is, as a matter of fact, my favorite character in superhero fandom ever. I grew up with this guy, and I became obsessed with Victor when I was maybe 7-8 years old, and right about it in the same amount that I've been obsessed with Darth Vader, which is funny because both are armored villains, and one kind of inspired George Lucas to get the other one going, and it's two of my favorite cosplays at this point, along the Darth Vader one that I have. It's funny because now that you guys were talking about your different choices for cosplay, Dima says that he just despises armored cosplays, while you other guys try to get armor going and as accurate as possible to the characters you actually do. Mine is interesting, and this is something that I always touch when I'm talking about my reasons for doing cosplay, and it's that I started doing cosplay right out of fun. Yes, I'm not going to deny that, but I'm very clear that there is a quite centralized psychological reason why I do it, and I used to have this. How do you call it? When you get really anxious in front of people, you can't speak in front of people.
Stage fright?
Yeah, stage fright. I used to have that, and the only way I was able to start being able to face crowds and speak freely to loads of people and stuff was after I started doing cosplay. And namely, 98% to 99% of my cosplays are they wear helmets or masks because they help my own self retract into the character and disappear, and then the character takes hold of what I'm actually doing. And it's a very psychological and interesting way of exploring that more darker psyche of my own self, right? Normally, I'm a really nice guy, and I mean, I'm not going to be arrogant about it, but I tend to work constantly in social work, trying to get funds or stuff people need in events. I'm a member of the 501st. We do that every single year. I am the director of the Ghostbusters Ghost Corps local office, and we do that as well. And I mean, I always try my best to be the good guy. And curiously enough, my cosplays, besides the Ghostbuster and the Ghostbuster, that's it. And all of them are villains. Doctor Doom, Bane, Darth Vader, Cobra Commander, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. I mean, you name it. They're basically all of them are villains.
Personally, I love your Judge Dredd.
Oh, Judge Dredd. Oh, yeah, that's the other. Well, he's not a hero per se. He's in the side of the law. But if it wasn't because he's on the side of the law, this guy will be a nightmarish villain to deal with. I mean, the entire city is scared of this guy, right? And but yeah, going back to the point, I tend to cover myself as much as I can with armor and plating and masks and stuff, because it allows me to really disappear into the character and have a really good experience dealing with people and seeing how they react to the character. Not to Richard Vargas, the cosplayer dressed as Dr. Doom or dressed as Darth Vader, but people reacting to having an encounter with Dr. Doom or having an encounter with Darth Vader. I take that very seriously, because you're playing with people's memories here. You're giving them moments, you're giving them memories, you're giving them something that they will take home and tell people and friends and family about, and that they will have pictures to state, man, I took a picture with Dr. Doom and it was awesome, right? One of the best moments that I had in the last time that I cosplayed, which was as Dr. Doom, actually, it was on the XCon. And that was my second version of the armor, because the first one that I tried was the same mask, still first version. It didn't look quite good, but it was the first version of this mask. And what I did was buy I think it was a medieval knight armor that I got out of Amazon. It was plastic, and it looked very good in pictures. When I got it, it didn't look that good, right? And it was very flimsy. It was basically polypack, the eat on plate and throw it in the trash kind of plastic. And I used it once, and it started falling apart. So I just got it, throw it into the trash, because that's where it belonged, and then did the armor that I used on the XCon, which is a foam armor that I did myself. It was the very first project that I did on foam. I wasn't really impressed with it. I didn't actually like it that much, but I mean, I did it in 2 weeks. And I remember that one of the most satisfying moments I've ever had in cosplay was going through the room, because I was going from my table to, I think it was the bathrooms or something. I don't know, I needed to drink water or something like that. But every time I move in cosplay, I'm in full character, right? And I'm a tall guy for our country's standards, and I look huge in that armor. And I was walking around just going through people, right? Not even paying attention if they wanted a picture or not. I just needed to go to the bathroom, and that's what I was going to do. And no one was going to stand in my way. So I started walking, and my cape was flowing behind me, and I was giving this really strong strides, right, chest out, face up, fists right at my side and stuff. And I could hear people at the side saying, "Oh wow, man, that looks cool." So it was really soft. People were whispering about it, but that was one of the most satisfying moments I've ever had, because I knew people weren't seeing a guy in cosplay; they were seeing Doctor Doom, and that's really, really important. At least for me, being able to really give that impression, and that takes a bit of, as you guys said, it's sacrifice. It takes a lot of stress. It's a very complicated road to get to that point. It can be very frustrating. It takes a lot of cash to get things going right. At the beginning, at first, you may want to keep things as cheap as you can, but there is a point where you finally realize that quality not just takes time and dedication. Quality also takes your funds out of your pocket to actually get things going. And I don't have many cosplays because I understood that fairly new to the hobby. And making a cosplay takes me around 2 to 3 years, just getting it right. And the best example of that is Doctor Doom, because I've already been through 2 armors. I hated them both. And I decided I'm going to do this thing right this time. I'm going to keep the clothes, the soft parts. I'm going to keep the mask and the inner suit. And I'm going to buy the rest of the armor made in metal. And I paid for it. And right now it's been done, and it's already been shipped. So the legs, complete from the waist down to covering the toes. It's a full reproduction of Doctor Doom's metal armor as it's been seen in the comics. The arms is the same thing. It's a variation of medieval armor, but made to look like Doctor Doom's armor, and the gloves as well. They're coming, and I'm really, really happy this time that I'm going to be able to actually feel satisfied with what I'm doing, because that's the ending goal. It's not winning on the stage, right? That shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be feeling satisfied, yourself feeling satisfied with what you're doing with your cosplay. That should be the ending goal. And anything else that happens right after that is just extra winning scenarios happening for you.
We have a comment from Trooper Hines. You have access to the comments as well if you want to drop your Instagram accounts or Facebook or whatever.
Can they all drop your IG accounts in here for support? Their IG's account. Yeah, he's asking for our IG's accounts. Yes. Well, I don't think I can answer, at least on the commentaries one.
You're on the phone.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Okay.
Well, I don't actually have an IG account for cosplay, but you can find me in World Cosplay under Dargas. That's Dargas. I don't know if my code sign is there. Would be 1845, Dargas 1845. There's a lot of pictures in World Cosplay of some of my old cosplays. I haven't really updated that in, well, I don't know, ever since the pandemic started. I think it's 2019, ending of 2019. You can follow me on Facebook under Richard Vargas. I have my Darth Vader 501st costume picture in there. And my Instagram, I only use it to basically see funny stuff and laugh. so I don't post anything that it's cosplayer related into that.
Okay. We already beyond half an hour, so I'm gonna I'm gonna continue with the next section. In a past episode, I was suggested to ask you a series of Boolean questions, so you only need to answer yes or no. You may all answer at the same time. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Only you will know the answer.
All right.
Question 1. Can you use a sewing machine?
Not for the life of me.
Okay.
Yeah,
2
self-taught.
yes and 1 no.
Yeah.
Sort.
I need to commission everything.
I need to commission everything as well.
Yeah.
I can sew by hand, but
I mean, I can sculpt and I can do fiberglass stuff, but sewing, not my thing.
yeah,
But I also
mine
feel
neither.
like that, like sewing is a lot faster than a lot of armor making, but it is also so punishing. So like often you can't really fix it if you make a great mistake. While I feel like making armor, you can often like just twitch it or like force it into do what you want it to do anyway. But it's so much more time consuming though, on the other hand. So yeah.
Except if you have patterns for sewing. Then it's
Yeah.
then it's pretty easy if you have the right.
But how often do you actually have like the exact pattern you need to use? Like often it's like, okay, this is kind of like, and then you have to like also make that into what you want it to be. And I often feel like I will follow a pattern and then I will like make new pattern out of the pattern, and it's still like just being a bitch, really.
And that's one of the most important things in there, because I mean, like in any craft, like in any art, everything happens here first. I mean, you need to understand how patterns work and how the fabrics work with the sewing machine and stuff, and then you need to plan it. And if you got it here and you're able to create a pattern for it, then just go ahead. But the problem is actually getting this to work.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite lucky because I'm quite visual and I'm quite 3D thinking. So I've often been like, I've seen that it's more easy for me than some of my friends to almost unpack it in a way, so I can like see what it needs to be to get the shape I want it to be. So I've been quite lucky with that, because my friends are often like, how can you wing that? And I'm like, I actually don't know, but I just imagined that it would be like this. So that's been pretty good.
Okay. Question 2. I already know the answer to this. Have you made armors?
Yep.
I think everybody has.
Yes.
Do you have one? No.
Question
Need to
3. Do you like acting?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's my kind of people.
It's the best
And
part of it.
I actually did 3 years in professional theater myself. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
A few years ago, I took some theater lessons, and right now I'm taking acting lessons for film and TV.
Nice.
That
So
is
my
really
answer
cool.
is yes.
That's what I love
So
about
nice.
cosplay, because you also, even if you don't do a performance, it's really fun to like study the physical acting of a character. Like, for example, when I did the Angel Death, I studied Doug Jones' hands, the actor, and he always goes like these things, really slow with his hands, and this is like how he acts. It's like you notice things when you're a cosplayer that you wouldn't usually notice with like films and games and stuff. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, I like acting both in stage and in voice acting as well.
Yeah,
because I've been able to actually do a couple of things there, and every single cosplay that I do demands a different type of voice, right? If you're gonna talk like Darth Vader, then you don't know the power. I do have a vocoder for it too, but you need to learn how to actually speak like the character and stuff, and that's very important. That's acting all the way.
Yes, Trooper Hines, I got them tagged on my Instagram stories. You can find them there. Question 4. Have you used your own hair for a cosplay?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
But you also just told us that you usually make cosplays with masks, so a wig
And
is not
helmets.
really necessary. Yeah, and helmets. Yeah.
I'm planning on at one point doing Captain Hook. I wanna do my own version of Captain James Hook, and I may have to lower down my goatee a little bit, but I'm living my mustache so I can do the two little hooks at the ending of the mustache and stuff. But right now I'm paying off for my latest Darth Vader version of the suit, and that's going to take me most of this year. And so I don't think I'm going to be able to go into James Hook maybe in 2023 or 24.
I'm actually gonna do. I promised a friend to do Smee from the 93 Robin Williams hook.
Yeah, nice.
For years not to do Smee, so that'll be fun.
Cool.
Question 5. If a ninja falls off a tree and there's no one around to hear it, does it still make a sound?
No,
Absolutely.
it just don't make sense.
But
It just don't make sound.
Ninjas don't make sound at all, whether you see them or not.
yeah, but ninjas don't fall out of trees either, so this ninja makes sense.
Unless they want to.
Does it make a sound on purpose then as well?
I don't think ninjas are even able to make sounds even if they want to. Except when they die. When they die, they're very loud and trashy.
The voice of the experience?
Well, I invite you guys to see a video. Well, it's in Spanish, but it's funny as hell. Called "The Battle Between the Purple Ninja and the Ochre Ninja." And the guys, I mean, that's really amazing. I mean, seeing that battle between those two groups of ninja that has absolutely nothing to do with the ending of the movie.
Doesn't it have captions in other languages?
I don't know. I've heard it in Spanish, but it's hilarious, man. The guy that gets a grenade, it's like 3 feet, not 3 feet, like 3 meters in front of him, right? And the grenade explodes yellow, and the guy says, "No, where's Death? There? I'm in." And he jumps into the crater and falls dead, right? Because I don't know, he missed the spot where the explosion should be, or something like that. It's terrible. I mean, it's terrible, but it's hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, the title in Spanish is the best ninja scene in the history of cinema.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah, very funny. Question 6 is related to animals. If I own 2 pink giraffes, will I be forced to take harmonica lessons?
Yes.
I guess it depends on the giraffe's taste.
What?
So it's relative.
Yeah, I think that's a relative question.
No, it's a hard yes. Just yes.
Okay.
What happens if one of the giraffes doesn't like harmonicas and the other one does?
Oh.
I don't think it's their choice.
You and your binary questions, man. You gotta be careful with the binary questions, man.
Okay. Question 7. If you were a forest psychologist, would you practice vegetarianism?
Yeah.
No, I have to assert dominance.
I'm not even sure what it is, so...
Okay, I'll take that. Question 8. Do you think Kirby has any teeth?
Yes.
Kirby.
I think
No.
I think it's just like toothless, so it's hiding like a full set of teeth inside its gums.
I've never seen any official artwork with Kirby showing any teeth. So
I think Kirby has
no,
a black
but
hole.
you ask what I thought. So
I'm gonna say
yeah,
Kirby is not a creature. Kirby is some sort of god. That's what I think.
I think from the mouth in, the guy has sort of like a black hole or a bottomless bag from the ones that you play with or that you can get in Dungeons and Dragons, like the one the Harry Potter girl used to have to just stuff everything in, and she could have like a house inside of it. So yeah, I don't think he needs actual teeth. If it goes into his mouth, it's gone.
Interesting theory.
Lo voy a poner en pantalla. Lo voy a poner en pantalla. That's my wife making fun of me. Yeah, you're so funny. She says hi, by the way.
Say hi back from me.
Dice di más que hola.
He did.
Dice sí o qué.
I tried.
Yeah.
Question 9. Have you ever been interviewed by a cosplayer other than me?
Yeah.
no.
Did it have to be in costume?
No.
Then yes.
Okay. 2 yes and 1 no. Last question of this round. Have you ever encountered someone dressed as the same character as you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
More than once?
Yes.
Big time. And not just one guy. 175.
Oh,
Oh, Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
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 But isn't that kind of the point, though?
Yeah.
In that setting, you want to be the same character.
Yeah.
I think I don't really feel like I've encountered anyone. I know there was another one cosplaying the same character as I was at a convention, but I didn't actually meet the person myself, which I was sad about because I was so ready to be like hyped about the character.
Once one guy was wearing the same cosplay as I did. I was wearing it for the first time, and he was too. I never saw him, but when I was just getting out of the changing room, getting ready to join the contest, people were coming the opposite way, and when they saw me, they were congratulating me for my show, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh no!
I just got out of the changing room.
We actually were the organizers for convention, and we called in the wrong person to win the cosplay competition.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh.
No.
And she was also in the competitions. We're like, oh no, it's not you. Sorry.
Yeah. It happened to me. Besides the Stormtrooper thing, it happened to me with Jason Voorhees in Halloween. It's very easy to find someone else dressed like you in Halloween, and I was able to find myself with 2 or 3 Jason Voorhees, with 2 Michael Myers, 1 Freddy Krueger, and I think it was two different versions than the one that I was using of Leatherface at the time. Yeah. Oh, and Noob Sabot. I found the Noob Sabot. Yeah. Which was pretty cool because we used to grab the other guys dressed in Mortal Kombat suits. And we played that I was the original and he was the Shadow. Because he was his suit was less detailed than mine. He was more black and I had more stuff on it. And we took pictures grabbing one of the guys and fighting the guy from both sides at the same time. So it was kind of cool.
If I had someone of my size who wanted to play Noob Saibot, I would be the other one. But the only friends I had willing to do that were fucking huge. So that's why my only Mortal Kombat cosplays so far are Cyrax, Ermac, and a new one I expect to bring to the Comic-Con in May. Hopefully.
Cool. Hoping to see it.
Yeah. I'm hoping to receive the same kind of reactions that I had when I brought my Tracer for the first time. Yeah, I have a big problem. I don't know how, but no matter how masked or how covered I am, everybody knows that it's me behind the mask.
It's weird.
So I was really happy when I crossplayed Tracer from Overwatch and nobody knew it was me.
I couldn't recognize you. You remember that?
I remember.
No idea. I had no idea it was you until I got the name, and I said, and I called you into the stage to let you know that you had won your place. And Dimas Cannon, what the hell?
You talked to me as if I was a child. You were asking me if I was going to upload our picture to Instagram, but you were like treating me like a little kid.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, actually, I was pretty impressed with the job because I really liked the cosplay quite a bit. I was a judge at the ConX, and I've been a cosplay judge for, I don't know, like 7 to 8 events at this point in my cosplay life, and I've found out that being a ruthless judge in front of people kind of takes away the magic at the moment, and I was dressed in full Doctor Doom cosplay, and people were already looking at me, trepidantly, and they were like not sure what my actual state of mind or emotions were, because the mask just completely obliterates that. I mean, you can be smiling your ass off inside of the suit and no one is going to notice because of this expression of this thing. I mean, he looks angry, and I wanted this guy to know that I really like his costume, and so I was physically trying to convey that, and I think I went overboard with it, because I was, dude, I really like it, man. It looks great, man.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was suspecting that you weren't recognizing me.
Yeah.
No, that made me really happy.
You've done some great cosplays, man. I'll give you that. I mean, you've done great. I'm particularly fond of the Batman 1966 cosplay, man.
That's my favorite cosplay of all time,
dude. I love that. I mean, I took like 100 pictures of you with a bomb, and that was great. I mean, it takes courage to pull that thing off and do it well, and you actually did it.
Thanks. Onto a different topic. This is something I always ask, because the first pictures of my Instagram gallery are not from cosplay, but they are travel pictures. I used to have a a travel blog, so I always ask, what's the farthest from home you've ever been in cosplay?
It's probably the UK, I think.
UK.
For me, it was in the Netherlands when we went to Holland.
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles.
USA.
Cool.
Yeah, Los
Nice.
Angeles.
And what's the funniest moment you remember while being cosplaying away from home?
I'm gonna let these guys talk first, and then I'm gonna go with my own because it takes time, but it's worth it.
That's a good question. I think when we went to MCM Comic Con in London for the first time, there was two things that happened. One was that my fiance was very concerned that no one's going to recognize us because we went as Noada and Noala from Hellboy 2. And she thought we were like, oh, such obscure characters. And the first thing that happened when we set one foot into the convention was someone screaming, like, oh my God, it's Noala. And then also there was like the 50-50 thing that either people did not recognize us at all, or they did recognize us, and they absolutely loved it because they either hate or love that movie. And that was really fun.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I also have one additional cool thing about those exact costumes. We went to Comic-Con in Stockholm, where, what's his name? The actor who plays Hodor in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. He was there signing like autographs and stuff. And my fiance's sister is a really big Game of Thrones fan, so we're like, we can get her an autograph for her birthday or something. So we like stood in line, and we could see the Hodor. He was, first of all, he's huge. He's like 2 meters tall, and he was going like this all the time, looking at us. And like, we were in our Noada costumes. I was like, what is he doing? And when we came up to him, he was like, oh my God, I love your costume. That's like my favorite movie ever. It's so cool. Like they filmed that in Ireland, where I'm from, like right next to where I live. It's so cool. I love your costume so much. And his agent, was like, no, you can't. Like, oh, can we? And we asked him, can we show like a little video? Yes, of course. And his agents were like, no, you can't do that. No, shut up. He even said it for her sister, just because he loved that movie so much, and we were like,
Amazing.
Nice. That's great.
it's really fun.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, for me, it might be a bit backwards, but the first time I was abroad with cosplay was actually for a convention. My friends won the qualification to represent Denmark in, and for me, like, it might not be directly. It wasn't exactly my cosplay, but seeing them on stage doing their act and participating in this competition is absolutely one of the fondest memories I have in like relation to cosplay ever, just because I knew how much time and effort they had put into it and how much they wanted to be on that stage, and they did amazingly. I think, in my opinion, it was one of the best that evening. I might be a little bit biased as well, but it was the greatest feeling seeing my friends up on stage and doing what they have wanted to do for so long. It was incredible.
I don't know if it gets repetitive because I said it last time I had a Danish guest here, but my funniest moment away from home was in Denmark.
Well, that makes sense, though. We are pretty much known as the hooligans in all of Scandinavian, so.
Curious.
Well,
yeah, I entered the cosplay contest in the J-PopCon 2017.
Oh, cool.
And I had no idea that was possible because sometimes here they ask you for your ID or an address to send you your prize in case you win. So
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to even they had a field where you input your country. That was surprising to me. So I entered the contest, and before going to stage, we had to enter the little room with the judges. And I was showing my Falco from Super Smash Bros. He has. I was showing every part of the costume, telling them everything I remembered about the outfit and the mask and whatever. And then we came to the reflector that Falco wears on his hip. Oh yeah, well, I don't really like using LEDs or lights or anything with batteries or electronics. So instead, I just put some jelly here. That's it. So then I did this. Wait. That's a jelly? Can you take it out? Yes, I suppose. It's not glued or anything. Still says jelly here. And one of the judges
Oh my god!
was,
Oh my god! It's actual jelly! You can eat it!
When you just need a snack with your cosplay, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, in case of emergency, I suppose I can eat it.
Yeah. In case your glucose levels go down, there you have your answer.
Multifunction cosplay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
She was the Danish judge, by the way.
Nice. So mine happened the first time that I ever cosplayed outside of the of my country, which was the time that I went to Celebration 4. If I'm not mistaken, that didn't happen in Orlando. It happened in Los Angeles. And I didn't take Darth Vader because I was afraid of damaging the helmet, and the lightsaber was too big, to get into a plane and stuff. People they tend to get picky on stuff like that when you're traveling on a plane. So I decided to take the Stormtrooper, and I haven't really. It was brand new. My very first Stormtrooper. I sold it to somebody else, and I got a new one that was more accurate at the time. And this was the very first time that I was going to wear it in public. And I went there with a couple of friends, Luis Carazo, my commanding officer from the 501st, and myself, which at the time I was his executive officer. And we got to the con, and right off the bat, when I came into the place, 175 stormtroopers greeted me and treated me like if they knew me from 20 years ago. I had no idea who these guys were, but that was unimportant at the time. It was great. It was a great feeling. But the funny story is that after a while of going around here and there on the convention, it was, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours into the convention. In the morning, Luis told me, dude, someone's hanging. And I said, what? And I looked down and I noticed that between the cod armor and the butt plate, you need to strap a little bit of elastic strap with a snap from the bottom of the cod to the butt plate, right between your legs. And the snap had gotten loose from the butt plate, and it was hanging right from the cod, right? And it didn't look that good. So we decided to kind of fix it. And he said, dude, let's go to the bathroom. I'm going to help you because I couldn't move with the armor. I couldn't reach down enough to actually get that thing going. And I didn't want to see me trying to reach between my legs and trying to fix something right there in public. So we went to the bathroom, right? And said, dude, I can't reach it without taking this thing off. And said, just lean against the wall, and I'm gonna snap it for you, right? So there I was, wide open, standing wide open with my arms against the wall, right? And with Luis leaning right back in my ass, trying to get the snap in my butt going, right? And we were doing this, and at the same time, the door of the bathroom opened up, and I think it was like 15 guys came in to have water and stuff. And the very first like 5 of them who get in, they were coming and they saw us and they just standed there staring at us silently without saying anything, right? And after like 5 or 6 seconds of utter silence, they just turned away, continued to the water faucets, and didn't say a thing. I mean, they didn't have to, but it's been one of the most embarrassing and comical movie moments I've ever had in a goddamn cosplay. I don't know. I wish someone had taken a picture of that at the time.
Unexpected
and embarrassing.
Yeah.
Truly.
Has any of you ever spent money on a cosplay element just for the LOLs or as an inside joke or something only a fan would understand?
Yep.
What was it?
That's for my Vermintide costume. You can have in-game, you can have trinkets to do different like special things. And the most popular one in the first game was like a trout that you have strapped to your belt. Because if you have that, you can heal the entire party, yada yada. So I bought like this big, very realistic rubber fish that I strapped to the belt. So everything was all serious. So look at me, I'm a cool witch hunter, and then have a huge fish on my belt. So, yeah.
Perfect.
And every time they see the costume, they're like, "What's with the fish?" Spongy and kind of heavy. It looks like a real fish, though.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I haven't actually.
No.
I usually make everything from scratch. So I have bought multiple different merchandise just because I like it. I have like one real size keyblade. I don't know if you can see that when it's like prop, but I actually haven't made a cosplay it would make sense to use it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have several actually. Richard already mentioned the bomb from Batman.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
I think it's from the 1966 movie.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
it's not a necessary element, but I found it funny. I found it easy. It's just a toy ball that I painted black and put some flame on top with reflective tape. For Batman, I also have the shark repellent and the yellow shorts that he wears on the when he surfs against the Joker.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then okay, that's my only thing close to DC Comics that I have for cosplay. For Marvel, I don't have any characters, but there was a Marvel Expo a few years ago in 2015, and I still didn't have any Marvel cosplays, but I knew there were gonna be X-Men cosplays. There was no way for me to know who, but I was sure there was gonna be X-Men cosplayers. So the day before, I went to the mall, and I had a T-shirt printed that I brought the day of the event, and I brought a sign reading "No more mutants." So I was one of the Friends of Humanity, protesting against all the mutants I could find. It was fun.
Wow. Well, myself, I don't think I've actually added one to any of the cosplays that I have, mainly because I think I'm very obsessive about portraying them as serious as I can. But I don't know if this counts. I mean, it's not bought, but it's something that I actually do every time that I dress as Bane from the Dark Knight Rises movie. And the detail is almost no one notices this, but quite a few have, and that's the winning point. Tom Hardy broke his pinky while filming Warrior. And since then, when you break this finger, there's only two choices for you, because you're not going to move it ever again. So when they fix it, you will either have a finger that is always sticking outward, or a finger that will always be sticking inward, right? Tom Hardy decided to have his pinky fixed, going inward. And since then, if you see every single movie he's done after Warrior, his pinky is always retracted. So whenever I dress as Bane and I'm signaling someone, my finger is always retracted like this. If I'm gonna grab my vest, if I'm gonna signal someone, if I'm going to grab someone by the neck or anything with my right hand, this finger is always here. And that's one of the small little details that I think I've taken more seriously about portraying a character at the time.
Okay. I was fearing about my connection earlier. I've been having connection problems since the morning, but fortunately, we're already 1 hour through the show and my connection hasn't fallen off. I believe it's time for a celebration. Cheese for everyone.
Yay!
Jeez!
I used to actually bring a plate of cheese when I did this in my room, but since I have a studio now, I don't dare to bring any food here.
Fair. Yeah.
I have one last question for all of you. If you could choose one person you would think would accept being on this show, who would it be?
I have another Danish cosplayer if you're not tired of them. She's called Lightspeed on Instagram, and she is one of the most talented people I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not 100% sure that she would agree, but she would. I definitely think that she deserves the recognition, and I think she would enjoy it if she decides to say yes. And she definitely has like some great stories as well.
No, I'm not tired of Danes. I don't know where you get that idea from.
Sweet. The wall. No.
I was warned not to get together a Dane, a Swede, and a Norwegian at the same time.
Well, that might be a bit chaotic, but you are in luck today, though, because I have a Swedish grandma, so I am I love Sweden, and I'm not like all the other Danes who is like, oh, Sweden, no!
Sweden dislikes Denmark, and everyone else dislikes Sweden. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys have seen the comics with with Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Finland, but I feel like they're very realistic because it's always the happy-go-lucky, drunk Danish person and the smart, slightly pessimistic Swedish person, and then the Norwegian who's kind of like in the middle trying to control these two, which is very true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I used to see some in DeviantArt, but it was a long time ago. I don't know if they're the same.
Yeah. Well, it
don't
might be the
remember the
same. I
name.
think they were quite popular at that time, but I definitely know they're quite popular in Scandinavian, but that makes sense as well because everyone wants to hear something about themselves, right?
I mean, I have so many friends in both Norway and Denmark. Not a lot in Finland, but it's basically the same country. Except that if a Swedish person talks to a Norwegian person, there is a 3-second delay before you understand what they say, and there is a 6-second delay to understand a Danish person.
Well, I don't know. It's going back to the fact that I have a Swedish grandma, so it was never a problem for me understanding. So I've never understood when people are like, I don't understand that. Why are we not just speaking English? I'm like, but you can just listen. But
It's a
but
practice thing.
it is. But I know a couple of Finnish people, and they are taught Swedish in school, and it's really funny because they're like, so you have like Swedish, and then you have Swedish with a potato, and that's Danish, and then you have Swedish with e's in it, and then it's Norwegian, and it's just like,
Swedish, Swedish cheese, yeah.
yeah. Well, I
Swedish
often
with kartoffel
feel
salad.
well, I don't know. Potatoes are so Danish. I don't know.
I don't know either. The reason 5 is saying Scandinavia and the world. That rings a bell. That might be the comic I was referring to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's good that there's somebody here who knows what's going on.
I don't know which one.
Yeah, I was totally lost.
Pretty accurate.
20 points to Gryffindor for that.
Well, I actually know this person, and he's a Ravenclaw, so I think he would be disappointed.
All right, then. Now then, let's change it back. 20 points to Ravenclaw for that, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first international episode was with a Danish guest that I met in the real world. And yeah, I actually have her on Facebook and Instagram. I'm glad she remembered me. I was even surprised that she told me she saw me on stage when I participated in that contest I told you about when I was Falco. And
So nice.
she gave me like 5 names of people that I could ask to be in this show. And one of those people told me about you, Aya.
Well, I think I somewhat know the chain because I know it's Mavan who suggested me. She did tell me that she suggested me. And wasn't it Mean Kitty who suggested Mavan? So I know the chain too there at least. I have also watched some of the episodes because my friends told me they were in them, so I kind of had them like going on while I I did other stuff on the computer.
Wait, is Mean Kitty Sheka in real life?
No, Cindy is her name.
I know another person who goes by Mean Kitty. So it's like, what?
And it was another Danish guy who suggested me RakeMakes.
Oh, really? Yeah, go Fabian! Woo!
He actually suggested me a bunch of Norwegian people, and I totally forgot. So I still haven't asked them. I asked one of them, but he said he wasn't available today, but to keep him on the list, so maybe in a future episode.
Shame on you.
I'm like 90% sure if I was going to recommend some Norwegian people, it would probably be the same people as Fabian recommended.
We'll never know. If you have any names in mind, you may send them via message.
Was it Crix and Beth Canard?
No, those are not the names
Fuzzy Teddy.
Spitz gave me.
Not Fuzzy Teddy.
No.
Dang it. 10% failed. Oh, well.
No.
So what's your Hogwarts house?
Probably Ravenclaw, I think.
I'm Slytherin, 100%.
Yeah, I'm Gryffindor myself. What about you, man? No answer. No house. Okay.
House. He is Hogwarts. All of it.
Hogwarts.
He is all
over.
over.
No.
He's just
no particular house. All right.
Faculty.
He doesn't want to get into that war. It's like when you pick a side, you are stuck with it.
I was just about to get 10 points less from his house, but he dodged it.
I haven't read all the books. I stopped at Rift Phoenix. It's Miss Chain. Yeah.
I only know that I'm Great House Lalu from Morrowind, but I don't know about those other houses. I saw the first Harry Potter movie. I didn't like it. I didn't find it any much sense. So I don't consider myself a fan.
No, you didn't. You and me are gonna have a discussion right after this.
Bring it.
But I'm okay with that. If someone says they do not like The Lord of the Rings, then it's bad. They can have not seen The Lord of the Rings or read them. They cannot say that they don't like them. That's not okay.
Yeah.
That's a totally different story.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would say, though, in defense of Harry Potter, that the first movie is very. You can see that they made it quite mainstream to try and get like a general view, and also a very child friendly, while they get much more into the universe along the way. And they like. I would say, like, I like the first movie, but it's definitely not the best movie of all of the movies at all. So if you only seen the first one, I would recommend you to give it a bit more of a chance. I think you would enjoy it more.
Right.
Hmm.
I recognize it's not the best of the lot, but I have to be truthful to myself that it's the one that I actually enjoy the most. It's funny because I really like that fairy tale vibe that it has to it, because as the series went by, they started getting darker and darker and more adult and more gritty and more bloody, and several of the plot twists that were revealed in later books were terrible for me to actually face, because I had, I mean, I read the books ever since, I don't know, I think it was the third book that was already out when I noticed Harry Potter, and I started reading the books and stuff. And when the movies came out, I had a very high opinion of Albus Dumbledore. And when I found out, when I got the plot twist that Albus was actually using Harry as a chess piece, more than actually being interested for the welfare of the kid, that basically destroyed Harry Potter's world for me at that point. And I really like it. I mean, I do like the movies, but I do have a problem with how dark they turned as they moved forward in time. I still like them both, and I see them at least complete the complete saga at least 3 or 4 times a year. But yeah, I think I'm more aligned with the fairy tale, hopeful vibe of the first movie than the last ones.
But I don't know if I feel like it's canon that he actually used him. Like, I know there's a lot of fan theories out there speculating on it, also because of some of the behavior he shows later on in the movie. But and I can't see where people are getting it from, but I don't think there's actually anything saying it's canon. And when I read it, I never got the feeling that he was using Harry or didn't actually care for Harry. So like I haven't. I'm mainly saying this on behalf of my opinion when I read the books. I have read what you're saying later on the internet, but I didn't actually get that out of the book myself. So so like, if I were to think about it that way, I totally get what you're saying, but I don't know if that's necessarily canon, that he just used Harry and didn't actually care for him as well.
Well, he kept moving Harry around into danger, allowing Harry to do stuff here and there, because that would lead to different outcomes in the fight against Voldemort and his minions. So he allowed Harry to do stuff, and when he knew that it will be a compromise against the resulting battle, he will stray Harry away. So he kept moving Harry from one situation to another. Now, that doesn't mean he didn't care for the kid. I said he cared more about the outcome of the battle than he cared about Harry himself. Now, he loved Harry, and that much is clear as you read the books, because he really cared for the kid. But he was in the very difficult position of having to choose between saving a kid that was instrumental in defeating Voldemort than actually saving this kid from his own fate. And Dumbledore was very willing to do whatever it took to actually defeat Voldemort in one way or another. Hence why he took the ultimate sacrifice, just to get stuff going in the way he thought will change things for the better. And that cold, calculating thinking on part of Dumbledore is what actually broke my image of him. I understand why he was doing it. It's completely clear and logical, as a matter of fact. But it showed a more calculating and strategic mind on Dumbledore than actually an emotional intelligence behind of what he was doing. So that's my own thing. Like most stories and books and stuff, many of the things that it's on the page is open to subjective appraisal, right? I mean, you can feel something in one way, and then some other person is going to feel the same thing quite differently. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, we can have very different opinions out of the same thing, and share them. Um, and another part of that beauty is that there's always something for everybody. Even if you don't like something, another person will, and that keeps the ball going. I mean, I hate Star Wars episodes 7 through 9. I really hate them, totally. But I understand people who like them, right, for their own reasons, and and the same happens with I think Harry Potter. I've met people who said, "Man, I completely despise Harry Potter." Blah 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 blah, and they sound like they are more willing to hate it for the sake of hating than because they know the story altogether, right? And I mean, that's their prerogative as well, and it's their loss, really, if they don't like something or not. Myself, I've always been more of a hopeful, fantasy-oriented guy. I grew up in the late 70s and the 80s, where it was very difficult to have a bad ending to a nice story. A bad ending, I mean, like the guys winning or heroes dying. And I think that's part of what me having a absent father helped me grow up to be what I arrogantly consider to be a good guy. Because heroes uh, were able to win, and bad guys got their thing without too much sacrifice, or more sacrifice uh, than what you would hope for to get going, to actually get the goal um, set up at the end. I think that's why I like those first couple of books and first couple of movies myself. But again, I understand why people might like to see a darker story, more adult story in the end. So yeah, there you have it.
We're already 1 hour and a half through the show. I'm gonna be closing the transmission. If you want and if you can, you may stay on the backstage and we can continue there.
Oh, before you do, you asked about getting someone into the show, and I did.
Mhm.
I have one as
So
well.
I nominate Ariela Quiroz.
She is not replying to my messages.
She's not. I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna talk to her.
Every time I bring the topic, she shuts up.
Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna talk to 2 or 3 different fellows that I have in here because if it's gonna be on English, they need to speak English. So
I still do Spanish episodes. February 19 will be in Spanish, and I still have free spots.
okay. So let me talk to a couple of guys, a couple of girls too, and see what comes up, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right.
For now, remember, everything is relative except that which is absolute. In which case, it'll be absolutely relative. I'll see you in the future. You'll see me in the past.